Talent to Talent is a peer mentoring and creative music making programme delivered by Awards for Young Musicians and funded by Arts Council England. The aim was to enable young musicians to take a lead and discover more about their musical selves through sharing ideas and experiences with a mentor or mentee at a different stage in their musical development. These films outline AYM's music-based mentoring model, why it was developed, how we trained our mentors, and how we created an environment and process to foster peer mentoring opportunities. Before each series of creative music making workshops, we brought our older mentors together for a day of bespoke mentor training. In this film, we look at how we trained our mentors and how they were supported during the programme to develop their confidence and skills as both music leaders and mentors.
So in the training, we essentially talked to the mentors about mentoring and what that involved and what it didn't involve. And we also illustrated what mentoring is, partly by comparing it with other approaches to supporting teaching and learning, such as co-design, facilitation, teaching, in the case of music, what a conductor does, and we particularly compared it with what the professional role of a counsellor does, which is quite different from, unless you're qualified, what most mentors do.
Yeah, the training moves on at that point to looking at the programme for the 3 days that we're delivering, and we do a sort of a dummy run of each element so that the people being trained have an opportunity to get a hands-on feel for the project that we're about to deliver. By using Roleplay, we go through the various activities that we have planned and give them a chance to sort of simulate the various skills that they're going to have to use.
That also means that by switching people around, the mentors get a chance to be both a mentor and a mentee, so they can experience what it's like from both perspectives.
At various points during the project, we invited the mentors to lead various activities themselves. Sometimes we put them on the spot, sometimes we gave them some advance warning so they could plan, and one of the outcomes, the feedback we got, was that they have found this very useful in looking at ways that they could develop their careers in the future.
So during the programme, we met up with the mentors at the beginning of each day, and then at a couple of points in the middle of and at the end of each day to plan what was going to happen, to talk about what had gone well and what we might do differently, and to reflect on some of the progress and challenges that we'd had in each case. I think one of the things that mentors find that they need to develop, and they do here over the 3 days of these projects, is sort of live empathy in an interaction between a mentor and a mentee. You have to very carefully judge the relationship between the two, nudge where careful, where appropriate, question things, shape things, and be very careful about not cutting people off, not careful about being very respectful about ideas, very yes and not very no but, those kinds of things. But getting that relationship, the interaction between the mentor and the mentee right, so that it doesn't cut off but really blossoms and flourishes, that's a really cool part, I think, of being a mentor, and certainly in the case of music-based mentoring.
I think I've developed my confidence in terms of doing more of it, really. So having something like the Talent to Talent programme has enabled me to work really closely with people like Paul and Ben and learn from them, and doing it more and more just helps me to get better and to have that practice. But I think it is a work in progress. I really do have to try really hard to think about what I say, how I say it, and also just be a voice outside of being a parent or a teacher, and developing that, especially with me being a young person myself, it is a challenge, but I think the more and more I do it, the more confident I become.
And one thing that nearly all of them say at the end of the projects is that they were perhaps a little bit worried about being put outside their comfort zone, and by the end of it they have all experienced some aspect of being outside their comfort zone, and by the end of the projects they all have embraced that and actually been very grateful for the opportunity to just try something new, be a little bit outside their normal box, and just realise that, there is no right, there is no wrong, there's just have a go.
So I must admit, I think I've come out of my shell quite a bit by putting myself out of my comfort zone and doing activities that I've not done before, but also leading a workshop in front of kids that I've never met until Monday is something that I've never done before. So it's been a great experience to come out of my comfort zone as well, and just not be afraid to feel silly at all, because no one's judging what you do.
But it's important to add that the mentor training is not something that Paul and I did, certainly alone. It's a process of learning that mentors did with each other, with mentees and with us, from the training right through the project and hopefully beyond it.
Thank you for watching the third in this series of films documenting the Talent to Talent programme. In the next film, we'll be looking at how to create the best environment for music-based mentoring.